Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I will be giving my commentary on Dustin Ross's latest interview with Chris Fletcher from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Oh my gosh. So you all are very observant, and you all were noticing from his previous interviews during this season 7 of LAMH. You all were always commenting, Dustin has to find a way to ask all of the cast members their opinion on Melody. He's always doing that. Now he is shifting his focus to the Melometers, y'all. So y'all are going to hear it. Chris doesn't even go for it. Chris Fletcher, he spoke from his heart. So he did not have any agenda or intentions there to pick on the Melometers. And then, oh my gosh, Chris Fletcher reveals that he told producers that he needed a face-to-face scene with Martel Holt to tell him to stop calling his wife a side chick. So now before we get into these sound bites, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who enjoy discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you as one of the showstoppers. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed for criticism. So first we're going to start off with Chris Fletcher very calmly, coolly revealing that he went to producers for a scene with Martell. Even Dustin is going to say, oh, so that scene that we saw, that was you? And he's going to be like, oh, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this soundbite, and then I'll come back with my commentary.
How did you feel? Because, again, when we, as viewers, were introduced to you and your wife, Nell, it was in the capacity of what looked like a mentor kind of relationship, mentorship, big brother, big sister, little brother, little sister relationship as couples between you and your wife, Nell, and at the time, Martel and Melody when they were married. And this season, we've seen Martel kind of make some allude to or kind of make insinuations that your wife, Nell, was a quote unquote side chick, or that overlap did exist. How do you feel about that, and where do you think that is coming from, that intention to kind of throw a little gas on the flame of those rumors by Martel?
I mean, I think that was just Martel being Martel, just being a little asshole at the time of the situation, hearing it on social media, and for me, just bringing it in just for a storyline.
Okay.
Just saying shit, and he knew, and that's why I expressed to production, no, I need to face him and let him know, dude, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? Because you put this out there, and this is what happens.
So the scene that we saw when you addressed that with Martel, you spearheaded that scene even taking place.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to know, you making these comments like that. I want you to straighten this shit out.
Yeah.
My wife wasn't no damn side chick. But
yeah.
Stop playing with me.
Was that sort of approach from Martel, or that reaction per se to whatever he triggered him to make him kind of make those accusations? Was that a new side of Martel for you all to see, or had you seen that sort of behavior before be present?
I don't think it was a new side. I mean, Martel has been known to throw some things out there before, but it was new to us.
Yeah,
wouldn't expect that to come from Martel, from all the mentoring talks, counseling, whatever that we have done with he and Mel, and he knew the strength of our relationship and how long we've been together and all those type of things. So yeah, I just think that's just Martel just acting up for the moment.
Okay. I think that again, because of the introduction that we got from that kind of defined the connection that you had with the Holts at that time. Now, Melody Rogers and Martel Holt. At the time when they were a unit, that's how we were introduced to you and Nell. And so to see moments like when you all were on the trip and there was a disagreement between Martel and Nell, and kind of the spirited nature of the conversation, right? The heightened, the passionate nature of the conversation was a little off-putting for a lot of the viewers. How did you feel about like the way that Martel was speaking in those kind of more passionate conversations between him and Nell? What was that like for you on the end of that, watching the way that he was communicating with Nell?
Well, I think a lot of people, and I've said this before, we've spent so much time together. We've talked to Mel and Martel on so many different occasions. That ain't the first time they've had this type of conversation.
Okay.
Because Martel, generally, as everybody knows, is just fucking hard-headed.
Okay.
He listens, but he doesn't activate. You know what I mean? He hear you, but maybe he ain't listening, type thing. So, they've had that type of conversation. We look at them as brother or sister type because we've spent, so much time and spoken with them in depth on relationship and things of that nature. So I've seen that conversation. I've seen that type of camaraderie between the two that go on. Again, I'm not the fussy type. You know what I'm saying? If I step in, then we probably got a problem.
Yeah.
We got a real problem if I step in. But to see them going back and forth, for me, it was just like a passion of brother-sister love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on now, Chris. Okay. Y'all, after he says that it's like a brother-sister love argument, he actually goes on to compare Martel Holt and Nell to Red Fox and Della Reese and Harlem Nights. And I am so serious. He actually said that Nell and Martel remind him of Della Reese and Red Fox and Harlem Nights when they would go back and forth and have their banter. But even then, Red Fox kind of would do too much. Like when Della Reese was fussing about the swallow of orange juice in the container. Who left a swallow of orange juice in the container? And Red Fox is like, bitch, please. It's still, that was a lot for a man to say that to a woman, Chris. But they're always about making excuses for Martel, even in that soundbite. It's just him being an a-hole. It's just him being hard-headed. Don't make excuses for his behavior. That is why a ninja will never change. When our community continues to cape for men like Martel. Cape meaning put on your cape like you're a superhero and save them. And that is exactly what you're doing when you say, oh, Martel is just being himself. He's just being an a-hole. But also he said that he went to producers and said, I need a scene with Martel face to face, telling him not to call my wife a side chick. And Dustin was like, wow, so that was you spearheaded that? And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. So definitely there are times when reality TV stars have to speak up to production for a scene because they want it to be documented where they are either clarifying something or asking for clarity or sticking up for themselves. And so I'm glad that he did that. And I'm glad that they did not edit it out of the episode. So at least then Kingdom Reigns producers and Carlos King, I guess they like Chris Fletcher enough to at least give him that scene. Now let's go ahead and talk about when Dustin tried to bait him into talking about the Melometers. This is crazy. So and I want to say this. It's one thing if, Dustin, you feel like Tisha and Marceau have some sort of history of experiencing backlash from the viewers of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I get you asking them about the fans. Destiny has talked about the fans in episodes as well as on her YouTube channel. So I get you asking her about it. But why would you ask Chris Fletcher, whom this is like his first or kind of second full season? Last season, we just got like the dinner scene with the kids, but now we're seeing more of them this season. But I'll say, okay, so they were on there a lot more often during season 6. So this is just his second season. Why bring up the Melometers to him? But he does it anyway. And this is how it all went down.
Hey, Dean, I like to give the cast a chance because, as you know, from being on this show, you're on the camera for 5 seconds, and here comes the comments, right? Here comes the fans. I think that over the years, this show has developed a very loyal and connected fan base, and they're passionate with what they have to say about the show. And sometimes that can kind of make the experience of the cast a little difficult. So is there anything that you want to say or any way that you want to encourage the fans to experience the show moving forward?
No, I think we kind of covered everything, man. Okay. One thing, again, I'll say is they need to know I love my daughter.
Yes.
So I'm looking for a resolution. I pray for her every day. And so I'm looking for that to return to her father.
Yes.
I have reached out. So, it's two sides to it, not just her.
Okay.
And as far as my wife, my lovely wife, and the Martel thing, keep in mind, ain't nobody disrespecting my wife. You know what I mean? We have a relationship. Nothing is scripted. This is true, real life, authentic work that we're doing. And no, listen to me closely, America. No, we're not picking sides. We are neutral. We are neutral, and that's in everyone. It doesn't matter if it's Mel, Martel, Letitia, and Marceau, Kimmy, Maurice. Doesn't matter. There's no such thing as picking sides if you're in the position that we're in. And that's to continue to help us as well as them to grow, to love one another, success, progression with the family, your jobs, all that. And that's what we're all about.
Okay, so notice, Dustin tried to say, this show has a very spirited fan base, and sometimes that comes off that as a result of that, the cast may feel uncomfortable. What do you have to say, Chris, about how you want the viewers of this show to view this show going forward? Is there anything you want to say to them? And he's like, no, I think we covered everything. And then Chris spoke his heart. He spoke about what was important to him. He wanted us to know that he and Nell are never going to take sides, not just between Melody and Martel, but anyone on the show. His wife was not a side chick, and that he loves his daughter. So he did not even give in to what Dustin was trying to lay down. And I think that is great because he spoke from his heart. So that guided him. And there was nothing that Dustin could say after that. The interview ended after that. Now, as far as him talking about Lexi, I did grab that soundbite where he is like recapping the dinner scene. Chris actually said that he felt like there was an agenda on Lexi's end for how everything ended. And the reason why he says that is because once she and her husband were in their car about to drive off and Chris Fletcher was by himself on the sidewalk, that is when Lexi said that he really didn't start providing for her until she was 28 years old. And he kind of felt like she said that comment because he was alone and not around Nell and his other children. So he felt like it was like an agenda. But if you remember Lexi's interview with Giving You the Real Tea, she said that during the dinner scene, a part that was edited out was the family bringing up her mother, Cornelia, and that triggered Lexi. And then what we did see was Lexi not knowing that Chris Jr. had gotten arrested. And when she goes, whoa, time out, flag on the play. What happened with Chris getting arrested? And like Nell tells Lexi, shut up, Lexi. And then it just kind of goes left from there. But he did feel like perhaps there was an agenda on Lexi's end. But again, you know, he says that he prays for her every day. He loves her and he wants her to come back to him. So I hope, you know, that relationship is mended. He also said that he heard that Lexi is pregnant and she is having another baby. So if she is, congratulations to Lexi and her husband. I wish them a safe and healthy pregnancy and delivery. Now, during the interview, Chris Fletcher also talked about how in marriages, he said that 98% of the time, if a woman is unhappy in her marriage, it is because the man did something. You know, it's his fault. And he said that that's something that men do not want to admit. He said, but it's the truth. Most times, if a woman is unhappy in her marriage, it is because of something that men did wrong. And he said that when he was cheating, he was being immature and selfish. He pointed out his youth. He said he can only imagine that that had something to do with his immaturity. And he said that he was thankful that when the indiscretion did come up, that he and Nell had several years into the marriage, so they did have some foundation. But he did say that he was immature and selfish, and he was thankful that they worked through it and that they remained together. So I thought that that was good conversation. Do you all agree with him when he said that 98% of the time, if a woman is unhappy in her marriage, it's because the man did something? I think that that is definitely valid. It does not mean that women don't cheat. We know that some women cheat in their relationships, right? But he's saying that for the most part in marriage, if a wife is unhappy, it's because of something that the man did. So, yes, I definitely wanted to share this with you all. I watched Dustin's interview. I try to watch them late Saturday night as soon as Carlos uploads them. And then we'll have to see during the rest of the interviews going forward if Dustin is going to ask each cast member about how they want the viewers of the show, the Melometers, to view each person, and just basically, I guess they want to control everyone's thoughts and opinions. So we'll have to see if that's going to be like a common question that Dustin asks the cast now. But thank you all so much for checking out this interview. I always appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.